Hey guys, my name is Vokey and I am the founder of Vokey Guitars, and today I'm joined by Devin Cooper, country extraordinaire. This year you've had a crazy year already and it's only the end of February. You've got some nominations with Country Music Alberta. That's 2 years in a row now for you, or several?
2 years in a row, yeah.
Yeah, and then you just released a single. Awesome, sounds super good.
Wait, well, thanks for having me and chatting. And
yeah, love it.
It's been a pleasure getting to play this thing for the last week.
Yeah.
My name is Devin Cooper. I'm a country artist based out of Calgary and grew up playing a lot of blues and southern rock. But of course, growing up in a small town, you're doing country activities. So there's always a little bit of that country influence that snuck into me.
Yep.
And as I got more into songwriting, I kind of ended up in the country world. I realized that was the place where it seemed like people put the most dedication and time into the craft of songwriting. And from day one, I always loved writing tunes that told stories and made people feel things. So I started playing guitar when I was 7 years old. When I was 5 years old, I started begging my parents for a guitar. Finally got to the point where they were like, save up your money from your report cards, your allowances, and then you can have enough money to buy your own guitar.
Nice.
So I saved up till I was 7 years old, finally had enough money. And then Christmas morning, I walked out and there was a brand new shiny black electric guitar sitting there with an amp. But it came with a condition: I had to pay for my first 6 months lessons.
That is amazing parenting.
From the moment I woke up to the moment I went to bed, if I wasn't at school or wasn't doing anything else, I was playing guitar. That's all I did.
That's awesome.
Guitar was my number one. So I've been playing shows since I was about 16.
Wow.
2019 did 210 shows.
Wow.
And obviously 2020 was a little slower.
You have been around vintage guitars a fair bit. When did that sort of start?
Yeah, I guess the first vintage guitar I ever bought, I worked at a guitar store in Innisfil when I was in high school. And it was a 1946 Harmony Monterey archtop.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit maybe about how vintage guitars kind of, because I know for a lot of people, vintage guitars it changes how they view songwriting, right?
Totally. I've always been a fan of old things and antiques and stuff like that. And it's so interesting to hear and see a guitar that's been weathered and worn and think about the stories that it's got to tell and where it's been and what songs it's played. 100%. That's kind of been the coolest thing about having all these vintage guitars and getting to play them all is hearing what they bring out of me as a player that I maybe didn't know that I had in me. So my main electric right now for playing live is a 1963 Fender Stratocaster. And that's been my main guitar for coming on 2 years now. You
have gotten to know V4 here last week.
I have.
At first glance, when you were playing this, how did that affect your perception of this guitar?
It's about the feel that it is in your hands as much as it is about the sound.
Yeah.
And there's something about old guitars and how they are just worn in just right.
Yeah.
And that's exactly how this feels when you pick it up. It's a brand new guitar, but it doesn't feel like a new guitar when it's in your hands. And to me, that was the coolest thing. The way you've finished the neck with tongue oil and the nitro finish on the body, it just feels natural, feels comfy with you. And it doesn't feel like you're gonna have to go through the guitar and try and make it fit you. Based on the wood that you chose helps determine the weight as well.
Yeah.
And the weight of the guitar is incredibly nice. So many guitars are notorious for being head heavy or back heavy, and the way that you've distributed the weight amongst this thing, you can have a nylon strap on, let your hands go, and it's just gonna sit there. You don't have to fight with it. It's the instantly not having to fight with it. It is, it's just comfortable from day one.
So these pickups, obviously they're wired in their split coil setup with the tone on the push.
These pickups are phenomenal. It's really cool. I'm a big Strat guy. And to me, when I played these, it was so cool because it's T-style body. You have humbucker pickups. So you're like mixing a T and a Les Paul. And then with the push to split the coils, you've got this Strat in the middle. And so this just like split the difference. And I mean, you put it in the neck and they're warm and gushy, but still clear. Like there's this, it's like cranking up an old tube amp and you just get that warm sound. And it was incredibly enjoyable to play.
That's sweet. Tell me about playing further up on the neck and how that felt with this neck joint.
Yeah, it was so nice. It's again, it's just like everything about the guitar, you're not fighting. That was the biggest thing. It's like there's no fight when you play it. You want to play up high, you just go up high. You're not
Yeah.
You're not trying to twist your hand around or get underneath something or fighting with a block at the back where the neck's mounted. Not only does it feel great, I think it looks phenomenal. That's my favorite way to see a neck mounted. And with saying that, I've owned a bunch of tail catchers. I've had a 66 tail, I've had a bunch of different things, and I've never loved them because of those little things. Yeah. And you struggle to get up higher, and they just they've never felt at home to me like a Strat has. And to me, it was like, oh, this has got some Les Paul things that I love. Yeah. It's got some Telly things that I have always wanted to love, but have never loved. Yeah. And it's got some Strat things kind of all brought together. It fit right. I love the carve that you have on the back of it. It's like a really happy medium between like my 63 Strat and a baseball bat. It's like a really happy medium between the two. Yeah. That's so cool. I'm not going to lie. I'm a big headstock guy. And then most of the times that's a make or break on a guitar for me. I feel like this design is really cool because the whole body is reminiscent of all these things. Yeah. And I hate when people try and do like kind of a Telly headstock or kind of a Strat headstock. And I've always been a fan of reverse headstocks, especially on like Firebirds and things like that. And so yeah, I think you absolutely nailed the headstock design to have your own, incorporate where you're from. 10 out of 10 job on that.
Thanks, man.
It felt like 6 guitars in one. With the push pots, it was so cool the amount of tones that I could get out of it. And for 1 second, I was playing Zeppelin on a Les Paul. Yeah. And the next second, I was playing Stevie Ray Vaughan on a Strat, position 4. Yeah. And it was the same guitar. That all of those things that you put together with it just take it over the top. The way 24 fret neck and the way it's carved and just everything. Big fan. I've played a lot of really good custom built guitars. I've played a lot of really bad custom built guitars. And this feels like something that has, I guess for lack of terminology, come off of a production line where it is so refined, so perfect. The frets are perfect. It feels great. It does not, so many custom built guitars feel like home built guitars. Yeah. And there's a lot that don't. There's a lot of really, really great ones. And this is a great one. I think that is the ultimate sign of a great artist and a great craftsman, though, is the fact that you are not stuck in your ways and you're building a product for other people. You want them to be for everybody else. Yeah. So you're asking everybody else. You're asking the people who are going to be using them, who are going to be touring with them, who are going to be using them in the studio, all of those things. And you're taking all those thoughts and it's like, well, how can we combine this together to find a happy medium? And so many people don't do that. And so many people are stuck in their ways about the way they want to do things and are not receptive to feedback or hearing things that could make their product better.
Yeah, I really appreciate you taking the time with it and just putting it through its paces. Yeah. And, really just jamming it, having fun with it and getting used to it. And yeah, I love it when I get an opportunity to share it with, somebody that's in the pro circuit doing their thing. Because it's you guys that I'm building it for.
Totally. Well, thank you for connecting with me, and thanks for reaching out and giving me the opportunity to get to play this thing. And yeah, like I said, it felt at home from the moment I picked it up.
That's awesome. Love that. Well, I think now is a good time probably to shut down this video. Really stoked to have Devin down here talking gear. If you haven't already, check out his stuff. His music is very, very good. It's just been super fun. So thanks for coming out, man.
Thank you for having me.
And yeah, just again, thanks so much for sharing your thoughts and some of your story with us tonight. And it's just been so fun.
Yeah. Let's do it again.
Yeah. Awesome, dude.